Hey everybody, it's Andrew. It is the end of day 10 here in jolly old England. Today we had our second full day excursion. Today we went to Dover and to Canterbury. We started in Dover, which is a medieval castle in, oddly enough, the city of Dover. It is on a giant hill, and it dates back to the Roman times, so that's pretty interesting. There's actually still a Roman water tower, one of the tallest Roman ruins still in existence, so that's really cool. And they also have these tunnels that were built during Napoleon's time. He built them for himself during the war, but they never got used during Napoleon's time, and they were refurbished during World War II, and they were used as field hospitals during the Blitz. So that's really interesting as well. Now, we also went to Canterbury, and an interesting thing is you have to go to Dover before you go to Canterbury, because that's the same way the pilgrims used to go. When they would go to Canterbury on their pilgrimages to see the shrine of Thomas à Becket, you would have to port in Dover and then go to Dover to Canterbury. So that's really interesting. So you actually had to pass by the castle in order to get to Canterbury itself. They had the castle in Dover decorated in the medieval style during, I believe it's Henry II. I believe that was the king. During his reign, and what the inside of the castle looked like during his reign. And what interested me was all of the bright colors. Everything was very bright and very colorful as far as the furniture went. And the beds were teeny, like they almost looked like cribs, the length that they were. So that's really interesting to see how tall we have grown as a people. So yes, that was Dover, and then we went to Canterbury. And what's interesting about Canterbury is during the reign of, I believe it's Henry II, the same guy, there was an archbishop in the church in Canterbury, and he was becoming quite popular and quite powerful, and the king didn't like that he was becoming powerful, and he said one night that he wished somebody would do something about that bishop. And so 4 of his knights were in a drunken rage, and they went to find Thomas à Becket. They rode to Canterbury on their horses and went to find Thomas à Becket. Now Thomas à Becket heard the news of this and realized that they wouldn't kill somebody in a church, so he took refuge in the church. But unfortunately, these knights did not follow that rule, and he was murdered on an altar. And for any of you dramaturgs or theater nerds out there, the play Murder in the Cathedral is about the story of Thomas à Becket and what happened to him. So that is that's a place to visit Canterbury for. Also, the cathedral itself is beautiful, and the town around it really hasn't changed much since its construction, and it's one of the oldest churches in England, I believe. I believe the first part of the church was built in, I believe, 1120, during when the Normans were who had the power in England. I don't believe any of that original church stands today. The one that we saw, I think, is from the 1300s. I believe that's when we saw that. The cathedral that's there now dates from the 1300s. And lucky for us, we actually got to visit the chapel and the church while the choir was performing. So you were walking around this church looking at these beautiful shrines and hearing this pipe organ and this amazing choir, and you almost had a sense of what the pilgrims felt like when they came to visit Thomas à Becket's tomb. And after we got back from our full day excursion, we had a small lecture with somebody who went on one of these tours with Scott. I believe it was 2 years ago. She is now a grad student here in London at the Royal Central School of Speech and Drama, I believe is what it is. It's a very long title, and it recently just got the Royal added to it. So it used to be the Central School of Speech and Drama or something like that. And she was telling us basically how awesome it is to get a graduate degree here in London. And it was a very exciting lecture. I learned a lot, and so today was a really, really good day. Tomorrow we have our pre-departure orientation for leaving, which is just so sad because it means we only have 2 days left after, or 1 day left after tomorrow. And then we have our Jack the Ripper tour tomorrow. I'm going to try and take in a matinee. I was really hoping I could see Billy Elliot while I was here, but unfortunately their matinees are only on Thursdays and Saturdays, and me and Lily are going to see the 39 Steps on Monday, so I can't see the evening performance there. So I'll probably find another one. I might try and sneak into Les Mis. But yes, that is everything that has happened today. It was very cool to see Dover and Canterbury, a very medieval feeling that it was. Oh, and while I was in Canterbury, I had my fish and chips, my English fish and chips, which were delightful. So, that is all. I will hear from you guys soon, I'm sure. Alright, my camera cut off. So, that is it for this installment of Andrew's Amazing Adventure. And 2 days left, and I will be home back in Nashville. So, until then, I hope to hear from you guys on the comments. Oh, and by the way, my mother actually asked me a question, because I posted in the last video that nobody has really asked me questions to answer on here, so she asked, did Warhorse make me cry? And I have to say, yes. From the beginning of Warhorse to the end of Warhorse, I was bawling like a baby. It was amazing. So, yes. That is it for tonight, YouTube. I will talk to you all very, very soon. And until then, cheerio, old chat.